Hello, everybody, and welcome to Angel-Meadows. I am your hostess, Mama D, also known as Darlene, and my guest this evening is Jade-Elizabeth. Aside from the fact I love the name Jade-Elizabeth, because jade is like green, and I love green. Here's a little bit about Jade, because there's so much to learn, and we're gonna get to learn it over the next little bit of time. She is a Amazon best-selling author, which you can see the copy of her book. I'm pointing like at my computer screen, like you can all see me. She's a best-selling author. She's a success coach and speaker, an intuitive healer, a hypnotherapist, teacher, mentor, and if I remember correctly, a Reiki master teacher. Because I know you do Reiki. So,
yes.
But all of this. And I'm sure there's so much more that we're going to learn about you. Wife, mother to fur babies and two little two-legged babies. Who knows? We'll have to find out. So, Jade, welcome.
So
Thank you for being a guest on my show.
You're cutting out, Darlene, and I can only hear about every other word.
Okay. Well, you introduce yourself, and I will check on my sound.
Okay. Well, hi, everyone. I am Elizabeth. I do many different things. The reason that I have so many modalities like Reiki and IH, intuitive energy healing, hypnosis, NLP, EFT, I find that no one thing works. So I have so many different modalities so that when someone does come, I have the right tool to help them to shift and change.
Cool. Okay, how's my sound now?
Right,
a little bit better?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on. I've got two laptops going, both with different things on. And of course, what I want is not pulled up yet. Okay, you had a Reiki attunement.
Yes.
Okay. So I know that you're a Reiki master teacher, but when did you have your first attunement?
2012.
Okay. That's
No. 2002. I'm sorry. Let's see. This is 20. No, 2012. Yes. It's been so long ago. It's I had forgot.
That's good. Now, what made you go and have an attunement?
Actually, it was a mistake.
No.
Because I had no idea what Reiki was.
Okay.
For me, I was in a
Hold on, I'm frozen.
She's frozen here as well, love.
Okay, so it's not just me. Okay, for anybody who's just sort of going, what the heck happened? Jade lost internet. See, her week was this week. Mine was last week, so we're having a great old time. All right, so, where were we?
I think what I was doing was talking about my, how you ask about me having Reiki. And yes. I mentioned that it was a mistake.
Yes, okay, so explain to me how it was a mistake.
Well, I didn't want the idea of being a healer.
Mm-hmm.
My whole goal was strictly to heal me. And my teacher in this class that I was in for self-development, which was to heal myself, mentioned that next week, if everyone was interested, we could do a Reiki 1. And I said, well, I don't know what it is. So she explained it a little bit, but she said it was strictly for self-healing. I went, okay, then I'm in.
Okay.
When I got the attunement, it was like this light went off, and I really realized what it was that I was supposed to be doing, not just for me, but for others.
Yep. And so you went from Reiki 1 to Master. You took the
Yes,
whole, as I say, you took the whole shebang.
I did. I wanted to be able to help others share in this modality,
Mm-hmm.
because with Reiki, if people out there don't understand or don't know Reiki, Reiki has its own wisdom. So you do not have to do anything other than move your hands from place to place
Mm-hmm.
and open up to your own intuitive part where God or Source speaks to you and gives you information on what to do for the person that you're giving the session for. And that includes yourself when you're
Yeah,
doing a self session.
very true. I also am a Reiki master, so I understand it a bit.
Ah,
But it was curious, as I said, I got you. I didn't get to read the whole thing, and then I was down to the bottom to see how many pages, and I realized, oh, it says she's a Reiki master teacher. So as I said, I was kind of sort of prepared, kind of sort of, a whole lot more than some other times. I can't even find my notes, but I have 3 sets of notes, so I'm kind of sort of prepared for today. So, now, hypnotherapist.
yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, the reason that hypnosis is part of my package is I realized that as I started to work on people doing Reiki,
Mm-hmm.
if they didn't change their thought pattern, if they didn't change the limiting beliefs that they had, they would leave feeling wonderful, and then in a week or two, they would be right back where they started.
Exactly.
So hypnosis seemed like the next logical thing. And while I was doing my extensive, and mine, I was not taught in a weekend thing. Mine was like weeks and weeks and weeks long.
Mm-hmm.
We even had to do 10 sessions on others, which was part of the curriculum before we even got our certificates. But part of what she did was also taught us EFT,
Okay. And EFT is?
emotional freedom technique.
Okay.
It's a way of tapping the emotions out of the body. It's like the easiest way I like to explain it is if when your spigot, let's say a lot of calcium builds up in your handle in your spigot.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to unclog the spigot, you turn it on and off, on and off, on and off, and eventually the calcium breaks and it works great. It works
Mm-hmm.
the same way in your body because it's tapping on different energy points
Okay.
throughout, okay, which does exactly the same thing. It taps out the issue or the problem when you're tapping on the root cause.
Okay, so I've heard a few things about the tapping, but since I have you here, I'm going to ask you a little more. So,
Okay?
how do you mean by it helps you with removing a problem? So,
Okay.
focus,
So
example, I have a problem with, is it a physical problem or just emotional, mental problem? Or
they're
all of?
attached. They're all
Okay.
attached.
Okay, so
So,
if somebody has constant migraine headaches,
okay. So
okay,
if
and,
somebody has a migraine, the first thing
mhm,
I would do is resource them to find out when they started. And
okay,
then I would use some little bit of the NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, to get past the cognitive mind so that the unconscious or the intuitive part of them gives me the right answers that I need, and then that's what we tap on. When you
okay,
tap on that, you actually tap out the issue because emotion and a problem are
hmm
attached. They're like glue. And until you learn what you are supposed to from that situation, the problem still will stay and persist. But
okay.
once you learn the message that it wanted to give you, then it will let go, and the tapping helps you to do that.
Yeah, I like that. That's another thing on my list of what I want to learn. I still got a few years to go there. My next one is uh, acupressure.
Ah,
I want to learn that one.
that's understanding the meridians in the body.
Yeah.
And see, that's part of what the tapping does. Because
Okay.
where you're tapping is you're tapping on those meridians and giving
Mm-hmm.
it on, off, on, off, on, off, till it finally lets go.
I like the way you describe that because, like Fellini said that in there are a lot of YouTube videos, but I've
Yes,
watched a couple and they just tell you how to tap, and but they don't tell you. Like for me, I need to know why and how it works, and I need basics. Because some people just kind of like explain it way up here. Well, Darlene is kind of like a ground level girl, and she needs to know things in simple terms. So that was interesting that you, the on off. I got it because yeah, it's true. What you do to a tap when the calcium gets calcified, it's like you know, because scraping it off may just take off the outside, so that's you're
correct.
releasing it from the inside. So the EFT, I like that one.
But see, if you only tap like on the headache,
Mm-hmm.
okay, even though I have this migraine,
Yeah.
okay, I'm willing to let it go. I'm willing to let go of all the roots and causes, which is part of what they tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You will get a Band-Aid relief, but it won't
Okay.
get down into the nitty-gritty of why you have them. And that's where the resourcing, and I teach and certify in EFT as well.
Okay.
So I have more than one certification program. I even certify in crystals. I'm very big in crystals.
Ooh, I love crystals.
Me too. I've played with them since I've been 5 years old, even bringing in pretty color or shaped stones in the yard. Of course, now they're not. They're much prettier and sparklier and more expensive.
Yep. Well, what I do is, where I work, anytime a customer comes and says, "Oh, I'm going on vacation to wherever they're going," I said, "Bring me back a rock, bring me back a pebble,
Mm.
something that just sort of catches your eye and makes you think of me." I said, "I don't want you to," because I made a mistake one time, and I said, just said that to the customer, and they wouldn't bought me something, and so I felt bad. You know, they said, "Oh no, we want you." I said, "Okay." I was very appreciative. I said, "Thank you very much," but I didn't want them to bring me back to buy me something. I was just on the beach or while you're walking, just you're going to see something, and it's going to just, Darlene would like that, and I had to specify size because one time I had a customer bring me back this huge, massive thing about this, but it was the size of my head. I said, "Hi, where did she? She went to Cuba or something." I could just imagine the weight of her luggage if she had to pay my weight. So I said, "Nothing bigger than this, you know, a silver dollar. Nothing bigger than that, you know." So I've had a few bigger ones, but they're always something very different and from different places. So I like, I had one woman brought me back just, "Oh, it's a pretty little bauble," and it was a quartz. It was a clear quartz, and it's like, ooh,
I love
I'm in
quartz.
heaven. Yeah.
Of course, there's a
So
lot of stones I love too.
so that's the crystals are, and it's not just, and for me it's not just crystals. It's different, like I said, different rocks and the place they come from, and yeah, like Scott says, touchstones. I have eggs. I have dragon eggs. Here, we'll
Do
show
you
you this one
really?
here. Yes.
Oh, how cool. I don't have any of those.
Well, I actually, the very first
Oh,
one I
you
didn't.
mean in stones you have dragon
Yeah.
eggs. Oh,
Yes. I
here
wish it was a real.
I thought we were really talking about a real dragon egg. It was like,
No,
wow. Wouldn't
that
that
would
be
be.
cool?
Oh yeah, that would be guarded. I would like just be in heaven for sure. And some people in that room would be jealous, Scott, because he has a dragon as a guardian and a mentor and everything. Um, but the first time I ever got one, and I didn't realize what it was. My mother gave it to me. It was for a darning off, and I was like, okay, it worked. And then somebody saw it and they said, "Do you realize this is dragon egg?" And I forget what the crystal was, and it's like, ooh, very nice. But it's always been on. I never used it. I think I used it because I'm not a sewer, and it's always been on my bureau. So there you go. Um, oh, I expect. Well, thank you. That'll be cool. Okay, let's get back. All right. one of the things that you put in your, I can't remember if it was your book or on your website, when you said life has many aspects. It's like a puzzle, and sometimes some of the pieces are missing. And I think you were talking about your Reiki attunement at that point, that it was a piece to the puzzle of who you were and how you were continuing. And I
True.
thought that was an amazing way to put things, because a lot of people are kind of like all over the place. They want to they want to do this, and they want to do that, and they want to do this, but until they figure out a way to put them together, find that piece that joins them. I thought that was very interesting. Now you also put that you picked up on people's feelings and emotions.
Yes.
And you noticed this at what age? That
I was really young, and back in my day, we won't speak age, but way back in my day, there was no things like they are nowadays, classes, books. It was not. So you were told to just keep your mouth shut and suck it up and not worry about it.
mm-hmm.
But
And when you were
a
talking to
lot of,
imaginary friends, it was like you had to outgrow them at some point.
that's true. That's true. For me, it was more of thinking that the emotions that I was picking up were
Mm-hmm.
mine. And some of
Okay.
them were great, but a lot of times they weren't. And it took a long time. I think it wasn't until after I got into some of the healing classes out here in California where I'm at that I really realized that these were not my emotions.
Okay.
So for a long time, they were mine.
Yeah.
You know, people hear children in planes or children in, especially little ones, in places like Disneyland or Disney World or any of the big parks or in a mall, and the kid just won't stop crying. They don't understand that that child could be extremely sensitive,
Yep.
and it's picking up all of the emotion of the adults around them.
Very true.
And they can't speak and they don't know any better, so they just cry.
True. I had a customer where I worked. She came in with her daughter, and it was the first time she'd ever been to the store. And the daughter was running around screaming, but you could tell by the squeals it was more of joy and of laughter. And at the time, I had a giant basket of strawberries because I lived in the country. And I asked the mother, "Can she have strawberries?" He says, "Yes, not a problem." I said, "May I give it to her?" And she says, "I don't think she'll take it from you." So I gave the mom strawberry, and the girl just nommed it down and had strawberry all over the place. And she goes, "I'm sorry, she's autistic, so she's a little bit messy." I said, "All children are messy, whether they're autistic or not." I said, "That doesn't matter." I said, "Can I try giving her one?" And she says, "Yeah." And I'm in a store, and there's usually lots of customers, and this time there wasn't. So I went around and I smiled at her and I said, "Would you like another one?" And I held the strawberry, and she just looked at me, and you know how they children can look at you, but like look through you and into
Yes.
your soul, and she just sort of looked at me, and then all of a sudden this giant smile came onto her face, and she didn't snatch the strawberry from him. She very gently took it, held it, and then giggled and ran off and then smooshed it into her face again. So the mother was thoroughly amazed. I said, people don't realize that children pick up the emotion, whether they're autistic or whether they're quote or unquote normal. I don't think anybody's ever normal in this life. But you have to just kind of, accept it. And if they don't understand what's going on, you know, oops. Eric Lynn in our chat room says, young ones are really empathic. We need to nurture this and not tell them to outgrow stuff. Because then they
Well,
all
you
grow
know,
up like here.
nowadays, a lot of my students are doing that. Things that they're learning, which I love it, especially when I get young people or ones that have small children, because they go home and they teach their kids the things that they're learning from me. But I also teach a kids Reiki, and I also do a children's crystal class.
Ooh, very nice. It's too bad I live too far away, because there are so many guests that I have, and they do things, and I'm like, I'm gonna go, but I'm in Quebec, Canada, and you're in California. Mind you,
Yeah.
I have other friends in California, so I know California's a big state, but I'll get down there eventually. Get my passport next year. I'm traveling. Oh gosh. Okay, let's talk a little bit about your book.
Oh, yes.
Oops, hold on. Darlene's going on tour. Oh Lord, help us all. Live Facebook from everywhere I stop. God, that's gonna be scary. What made you write the book? I mean, we all deal with our own self-esteem issues.
Right.
And I know that you did, because I read, like I said, I did read some of it. What made you want to write a book?
Well, I am tired at my age of stressing about healing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I have taken so many classes. I have read so many books. I wanted to put something out there that was little, that was to the point, because nowadays, with life the way it is, more and more and more people don't have time to even sit down and read a big book. The itty
True.
bitty book is very tiny. You can keep it in your purse. But the things that's in it is the things that I did in order to go from not even being able to speak to somebody that was in corporate or had a lot of money. I didn't feel I was even good enough to speak to them.
Okay.
And I was always going around overdoing, because I was trying to make people notice how good I was, even though I didn't feel I was. And I
Okay.
wanted people to have something that they could carry around with them when an issue popped up. They could just open the book and practice one or two of the bullet points that's in the book and shift their energy.
Nice.
Do you notice how much I put in that? Because I don't want them to go as many years as I did before they heal.
True. And do you mind if I ask how old you are?
I'm 71. I'll be 72 in a couple months.
You do not look it at all.
Thank you very much. You
Because
can
I'm
say
sitting
that
there
again.
going, even Scott's going, you are not. I'm sitting there going, she said she's not going to talk about age. I was like, she's got to be my age and younger. And it's like, and I'm going to be 56 this year. And it's like, yeah, see, Brian says he's just a baby. Brian's 142. So, but we won't go. I like to pick
Well,
on Brian.
God bless you, Brian. I hope I look good at 162. Oh, she does not look 76.
It's okay. I will torture them later. No, I always expect, and I do when I do my Facebooks, I tell everybody that when they come into the chat room, you have to enjoy the chat room. It's not just for sitting there and like bumps on the logs. Conversation, whether it's in regards to the show or in regards to getting to know each other, because there's people sometimes, and new people have questions, and sometimes our guests in the chat room can answer them, because I have a lot of very interesting people in the chat room sometimes.
Oh, I love questions. Even in my classes, I encourage my students to ask questions.
Mm-hmm. And of course the boys misbehave as always. Okay. Right. So there was something in the beginning of the book, and of course I'm not at the beginning of the book again. Let's do. And here we go. Somebody said they don't like it when they have silence. I'm really good at the silent parts, guys. Get real. All right. You have. Let's get to the beginning. There we go. First off, thanks to your husband that he has been a great support to you. So rock on, Ralph. Robin Duncan. You mentioned her in your
She
energy.
was my hypnosis teacher and my EFT teacher. So she's the one who, actually, to be honest, the biggest thing she did, other than certifying me in hypnosis and EFT, was she actually brought me back to God.
Okay.
When I was a child, the churches that I went to would always tell you that if you didn't do it right, if you didn't live this way, if you told a fib, if you whatever it was, and
Mhm.
especially to a child, that you were going to go to hell and you'd be punished.
Yep.
Well, for me, why would I want to love somebody that every time I possibly made a mistake I was going to get punished
Yep.
and and have terrible things happen? So I literally turned my back and went away. Robin teaches all about the Course in Miracles.
Yeah.
And through her teachings, because part of it I took after I did the hypnosis and the EFT,
Mhm.
really made me understand who God really was and how loving and kind God
Mhm.
is. It's our own thoughts, our own beliefs that create the negative that make us think he's punishing us.
Yeah. And for those of you who will be listening in the chat room or in previous, if you don't like the name God, then it's your choice to
It's
use
the
any name, higher
universe.
power that you want, the universe, whatever. And I agree. As a grown up, try that one again. See if I can erase. Growing up as a child, I was raised Catholic, and I was a good little Catholic girl. I was an altar girl, and ring the bell. I wasn't supposed to, and I never paid attention because, like you, I didn't like the negative that they kept saying. You know, it's like, um, if you don't do this right, and you kiss a boy and all this kind of stuff that, I'm going to go to hell. Well, first off, when I was young, thought hell was fire and damnation, but now
So
I
did
know that
I.
hell is snow and tons of it because I don't like snow, so that's my version of hell. So, and then I live in Quebec, we get lots of it. So, but yeah, so for me, it was the angels that attracted me, and I didn't. My higher power, my God, I don't have to go to a church and listen to somebody drumming sermons at me and make me stand and kneel and sit and stand and kneel and sit. So yeah, you need
And
to.
yeah, I totally agree. Because for me, it's all an inside job anymore. And I work very, very much with the angels, with the archangels. They come and work with me in my sessions. They're keeping my space safe when I'm teaching classes.
Mhm. Mhm. Exactly. Okay, Scott, ACIM, A Course in Miracles, is a good read for any traveler along the spiritual path. I'll have to look up that. I guess it's a book.
It's easier when you work with a teacher
Mhm.
because some of the things that you read can be very difficult to understand. If anyone has ever sat and tried to read the Bible, that can be very difficult. So when you
If
have
you
a
gave me a Bible
teacher,
with bullet points, I'd survive. Because I, like you
and
say,
see,
a big book.
and that's what she did. She
Mm,
literally did bullet points and made it so much easier for us to understand. And I don't know where I would be today if it hadn't been for Robin. Of
okay.
course, Catherine, because she became one of my best friends, but she was my Reiki master,
Okay.
and we did many things. We even wrote 2 Reiki books that are out online. The
Hmm.
difference is it's not under just Jade Elizabeth, it's under Jade Elizabeth Hardisty, Hardisty, which is my name, my formal last name.
Okay. I'm doing a search. HAR. D-E-S-T-Y.
No, D-I-S-T-Y. There's a story behind that as well. We're not an E-S-T-Y Hardesty, we're I-S-T-Y.
Okay. Oops. I see 2 books. 2
Yes.
things.
Reiki 1 and a Reiki 2.
Ah.
Which a lot of our students use to teach
Okay.
classes from. It took us about 8 years to write the books and get them exactly where we wanted them.
See, I do have your, I have to keep these mouses in order. Which one I'm using. I'm going to share your website so people who want to
see more, because my books are out there on the website as well.
Mm-hmm.
I even have a YouTube video that's out on YouTube. There's a space under my speaker, is it the speaker page on my website? If they go down to the bottom, they can click on my YouTube channel, and I have a DVD or a full version of the hand positions in Reiki.
Okay.
And why they're important and what's important about them.
And there, takes me a few. Hi, Eric. There we go. There is your website. And there's a lot. You can learn a lot about.
There's actually 2 of them. You can come in 2 different ways. Let me type the other in as well.
Okay.
Oops. As you talk.
We're going to have dead air like crazy over here. Okay. I'm babbling. I don't know what to say anymore. Okay. Oops. One of the things I noticed was that you say that you work with women. Now, do you work mostly with women, or is it just,
Nothing against the males out there, but women are more willing to be open and change.
Sorry, guys. We love
my
you,
preference, as much as I love men, and I really love men, as much as I love
glad
men.
your husband likes that.
Well, I love him. He's a male, so
He's okay.
as much as I love them, they're a little more stubborn in wanting to imagine certain things or go certain places if it's not logical, if it doesn't make sense, or they don't want to give up control.
Men?
I have a few men that come to my meditation classes that I teach.
Okay.
But I don't have a lot of them that come to some of my other classes, like the personal development class or the Reiki classes. I mean, I do have some men, but it's very, very small.
Okay. So you have no objections to teaching men.
No, I work with men as well.
They have to be open, and I do understand, because sometimes when I'll not any of the guys in this chat room, but sometimes if I discuss what I do and who I am outside of my day job, they kind of look at me and go, "What the hell is that?" Sorry, my language. I'll put a quarter in the cuss jar. What is that? And I try to start to just give a minuscule, because it's not a place to discuss this. I just like a little bit of it, and it's like some of them are like, that makes no sense. They don't get it, But then there are a few that go, really? Tell me more. And I'll be like, go on Facebook and connect with me on Facebook, and you'll learn all about who I am and what I do outside of here. So, but yeah, so. Like I said, men are not, it's not that they're difficult, it's just that they're special.
But I do work with men. But if if you get technical as far as business and marketing, I usually market to women.
Okay. Well, again, nothing against the guys. We do love
Right.
you, but the guys have had everything geared toward them for so long that when it can get something that's geared towards women, then yeah, it we need an extra. Some women do need an extra step up because that ceiling is high, and they're tired of looking up your kilt.
For me, the biggest issue that so many women have is receiving. They love to give. We're taught to give.
Yep.
Take care of the family, take care of the husband, take care of the kids, take care of everybody at work, do the laundry, do this, do that. And then by the time it comes to taking care of them, they're exhausted.
Yep.
It's like this morning before our session today, I had a mud scrub facial and I had a wrap that literally takes away inches. Now, will it come back?
Okay.
Over time, of course. But
Okay.
it was really cool because I'm also into doTERRA oils, essential oils.
Okay.
For me, it's all about all health. It's not just
you
doing
can't
energy
just
work.
one thing. No.
Right. So even the oils, and that for me is very new. I just got into that. I've only been in it about a month and a half now.
Okay.
So there's so much I need to still learn, but it's just fascinating how much there is. Oh,
Okay. I just put in.
Publishing.
Yeah, I put into the chat room the website that the Itty Bitty Publishing. So if anybody wants to go and purchase Jay's book, it's in there. It's also on Amazon, but Amazon and I are having a problem. We don't like each other at the moment.
Yes, you are.
But you know what? It happened to another book that I wanted to see. One of a future guest who's coming on here. I think it has something to do with y'all being my guests. He's got a book out, and today is the last day for his free giveaway on Kindles. And I went to go see, and it wouldn't let me have it.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't just me.
No. So Amazon and I are having a problem.
Ah.
But yeah. So okay. I pay taxes. Unfortunately, I pay a lot of taxes. It's just being a smarty pants.
So do I. Oh, Amazon not paying taxes.
They pay taxes, don't they?
Oh,
well, I could buy anything. I could have bought the book, but I wanted to buy the Kindle, and they wouldn't let me buy the Kindle.
You should buy the book. The reason why is you can carry it in your purse, just like anyone else out there can carry it. That's what a lot of my people are doing. They carry the book in their purse, and when something comes up, they look at that. They read the different chapters or the 15 steps, and they choose what's going on for them at the time. And then you just open it up, and it's 2 pages long, and wham, it's done.
Okay.
So you practice it.
Well, here I'm going to read out loud the 15 steps, and then we'll choose. Somebody can choose one, but step 1, aware of your own self-talk. Yeah, that's a goodie. Step 2, how do I sabotage myself? Step 3, belief in what other people say. Step 4, affirmations. Step 5, complaining and judging. I don't complain. Maybe I do. Step 6, controlling your emotions. Learn that one.
I need to tell you, everyone complains. Even the best of us complain. We just don't hear ourselves complaining.
It's true, because you can even complain mentally.
Yes.
As I posted on Facebook, I don't whinge and whine, I bitch and whine.
And that's the same thing as complaining.
Controlling your emotions is 6. Step 7, have a positive attitude about yourself. Step 8, this is what you mentioned before, receiving and giving. How we give so much and even receiving compliments. I still have a hard time with that one.
Really?
But I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I used to just fly off and whatever. And then I say thank you, and then I laugh it off. Okay. Breaking the chains of old programming. That's 9. Step 10, gratitude for what you have. Yeah, I think that's a major one because a lot of people don't realize what they have until it's gone. Step 11, perfectionism. That's not my problem.
You skipped 10.
Did I?
Oh, no,
No,
never
I
mind.
said gratitude for what you have.
Yep.
Step 11 is perfectionism. Step 12, using the mirror. Now that one I'm going to ask you on. Using the mirror how?
Actually looking at yourself.
Okay.
Not just looking like we do in the mirror at our forehead or our eyebrows or whatever, but really looking at yourself in your eyes and looking into your own soul and speaking to it and even saying, I love you.
Yeah.
But it's a difficult thing for a lot of people in the beginning.
It is. It was. I did that. I don't remember where I heard that, but it was something I was
Louise Hayes
watching.
would think for that as well.
Okay. No, I didn't follow her. But I knew of her, but didn't follow her. And they said, if you forget, put Post-it notes. So my bathroom mirror was filled with Post-it notes, and I would have to say them to myself every morning and look at them and then repeat it to myself. You behave, Scott. Okay, then we did it in mirror. Okay, step 13. Take control of your thoughts. That's a doozy. A lot of people have problems with that. I'm getting better at that one. You know. Step 14, the power to trust yourself. And then step 15, belief in a higher power. So I think of all the ones, I mean, a lot of them are simple and they make sense. So I think the biggest one here for me is belief in higher power is that it's hard for me to understand because a lot of people say my unicorns fart butterflies and rainbows because I like to be, I will find the positive in any negative. But I think I find it really difficult to understand that my higher power may not be the exact same as Scott's or Gemini's or Sharon's, but basically it's all the same. We may not call them the same.
It's not the same.
Well, like I'm just saying, like some people will call them God or the universe, and they'll think. I had a discussion once with I think he was a Baptist minister. I'm not sure what he is. And when I said I work with the angels, and he's like, well, how do you know that they're not the devil? Because the devil comes guised as an angel. And I was like, because I do understand that there's negativity out there, but I only allow positivity into my life. And I do get it. There is negative. I get it. I deal with it every day, but I won't allow it into my life. I won't let it permeate my life. And he's trying to get me to understand that, and his thing was that Christ is the only person, I had to give my life to Christ, yada, yada, yada. And we just sort of, because he's the customer at work, I said, you know what, we're going to have to agree to disagree on this subject, and we're going to let it go, because I'm not going to change your mind, and you're not going to change my mind.
Can I give you a good answer?
Sure.
Next time someone says that to you, tell them that the angels that you talk to always are loving and kind, and they never order you to do anything. That's how you can tell if it's coming from a higher power.
Okay.
The ego, the lower mind, ones that may be out there wanting trouble, they order you, they demand. It's not for greatest good for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's coming from absolute love, You know it's coming from the higher power.
There you go. Well, then of course, and if you look at it that way, I've never had them in with negative angels because nobody ever demands anything of me.
Correct.
So which is because, like I said, I know it's out there. I know that there's negativity out there in
But
all
don't
walks
look
of
for
life.
it. Don't
You
look
know,
for it.
exactly. I
You
will look for
will always find what you look for. So if you're looking to have that problem, guess what? The laws of the universe will gladly bring them to you because that's the energy and the vibration that you're giving off.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Okay. How do I self-sabotage? I call it sabotage myself. That's step 2.
Yes.
Now,
So, go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, you had a question about it.
Well, a lot of people don't realize that they do this.
See,
How can you?
most people don't believe that it's a choice. And believe it or not, and I stated here in my book, every 10 seconds you make a choice. You make a choice to turn your head left. You make a choice to turn your head right. You make a choice to pick up your hand. You make a choice to take a drink. You make a choice to open your mouth and say a word. But we don't look at our choices as every 10 seconds. Problem is that only 20% of our choices are conscious.
Okay.
80% all comes from the unconscious mind, which is our old programming.
Okay.
And that's why we end up sabotaging ourselves.
Okay. So if you have somebody, a young girl that I work with,
Okay.
she's always negative on herself and she's always putting herself down. And I've tried to point out to her that that's not the person that I see, that she needs to see what. For me, I look at myself, the way I started to see myself as a more positive was I would look at myself through somebody else's eyes. You know, and I did, and somebody thought it was a thing that I did on Facebook. I said, just one word, tell me what you see in me. And I had a lot of people putting one word and more than one word, and it wasn't an ego trip.
Right.
It was because I needed to see because at that time I was having a moment, and I needed to see what other people saw in me because I wasn't seeing it. I was having that moment of seeing. So how do you, aside from, like I said, going on Facebook, how would you help? Cause I can't give her your book because she's French. I could translate the whole thing. But how would you go about helping somebody to see the positive without, if they really not wanting to see it at the moment, or they can't see it? I don't know exactly why she is, because I have to separate my Mama D to Darlene.
One question that I always ask people when they talk about how they see themselves or even what they can or can't achieve, I always ask them, do you want to be right about this?
Okay, you lost that. All I caught was the last part. Want to repeat that again?
Want to be right about this.
Okay.
If you don't want to be right about not getting ahead or not getting the job or not doing this, then what's important is to shift the way you look at it.
Okay.
If there's something about me that I don't like, and believe it or not, for years, people used to make fun of me because of my voice.
What's wrong with your
They used to tell me, keep my voice down, you talk too loud, you're too energetic, you have too much energy, calm down. And I tried to be this little small person that everyone wanted me to be, and that isn't who I am.
No, I don't find anything wrong with your voice, but okay.
Well, you know why? Because I don't find anything wrong with it now either.
Okay.
The minute I got okay with it, so did everybody else.
Okay.
The biggest thing for for people to remember is there is no out there. Everything is inside.
Mm-hmm.
So what you think and believe inside, you create out in the world. So if you don't like something about you, you're going to find every person around you is going to comment and not like that thing about you until you start to like you.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yes, it does.
And I'd like to mention something. Who was it? Scott mentioned that men don't have purses or handbags. No, but you could carry it in your car, and it's actually small enough that you could roll it up or put it in a briefcase or even stick it in your back pocket.
There you go.
So
Mister,
there
I
you
don't
go.
have a purse. He was being a smarty pants, and he just got taken to the corner. It wasn't
I
by me.
do want to say something and address something that for a lot of people who have issues with self-esteem, they feel they have to do everything perfect.
It was
And I
perfection.
have to tell you about a aha moment, and it may not be an aha for a lot of people, but I was sitting in a very, very expensive, high caliber mastermind group,
Okay.
and the gentleman who was running the mastermind, I can't remember everything that was said, but he had said something that all of a sudden tears just started to roll down my eyes because of the aha moment I had.
Okay.
Every time we do something, let's say the first time we do it, it's okay. Second time we do it, it's better. Third time we do it, it's better. Most people, like myself, that want everything to be perfect, will continue to keep doing it and doing it and doing it until they feel it's perfect. Biggest thing to remember is every single time, even when you think that it's almost perfect, you'll always find a better way to do it. When I wrote my book,
Mm-hmm.
okay, when I had the book signing for the book, the night before I was sitting down and I was going over what I wanted to talk about at the signing.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was reading, I found a mistake. And here's what's so interesting. There was at least 7 people, different people who read the book, and
Okay.
not one of us caught the mistake. And all of a sudden, there it was, big as life. And I thought, oh, good, I'm going to talk about perfectionism. So as I was talking about it, I told everyone to go back to this particular page and add a word in there because the whole word was missing.
Okay.
And I looked at everyone and I said, now, does that mean that my book isn't perfect or isn't good? And everybody said, well, of course not.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, then guess what? Perfectionism doesn't really mean anything. You do the best you can at the time and then always improve. But most of us, if you tried to tell me that 15 or 18 years ago, wouldn't have made any sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So like your friend, you have to come from their model of the world and approach it from where they are, not
Yeah.
where you are.
Very true. Okay. What's the word that's missing?
You know, I don't know now because I immediately told my publishers and they fixed it on the next run
Oh, poo.
that came out. So, but I did tell everyone at the time that I was buying the book, I said, you have to know that this is now a collector's item because
Oh,
that
very
word's
true.
missing.
Very true. There you go. And it's a signed one if they got your
Yep.
signature on it. There you go. Oh, that's nice. I like that one. Okay. Listening to what is that? No, that's not a point. Hang on, darling.
How about
Belief.
affirmations? How much
Yeah.
do you understand about affirmations?
Affirmations is, for me, okay, to my understanding, is what you say to yourself. Like, my hair is perfect the way it is. Even though I have to get it's naturally curly, but I like it when it's straight because when I was a little girl, all I had was, trust me, your high curl that's on top of your head was nothing compared to mine.
Can we switch? You can have my straight hair and I get your curly. Because mine is a perm. I work really hard to get it curly like this.
But right now, it looks like I stuck my finger in a light socket because I've done so many treatments to make it straight. So I have to start going, okay, your hair is perfect the way it is, you know? And even though I have people who tell me, oh, I love your hair when it's natural, I don't like it. But I have to say to myself, you're gorgeous, just the way you are.
So let me ask you, when you say that, how does it make you feel?
When I tell myself that I'm gorgeous just the way I am?
What does your body tell you?
Well, right now I'm having butterflies, which I have in every show. So
okay. So let me explain something. When people do affirmations, and this is part of what's in the book as well, when a person does an affirmation, if your body has a knee-jerk or any kind of response to it that isn't, oh, I'm opened up to receiving it all, you're only spinning your wheels because emotion is stronger than thought. So use words like, I'm willing to, it's now okay to, something that will make it a lot more gentle so that the mind can say, okay, yeah, I could be willing to allow that to happen. And then as time goes on, you'll notice that it can morph to where then you can say it.
Okay.
So one of my affirmations is every day I get healthier and healthier.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't say that today I am healthy.
Yeah.
I get healthier every day. And I do. So it's an important part when you use those little soft, subtle words, which I explain in the book why they're important to use that, because then you don't get that knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah. One of the affirmations, today I appreciate myself a little more than yesterday.
Yes.
Brian in the chat room says, Emile Coup from France. Every day I am in every... Try again.
Every day
in every way I get better and better. And Fellini, oh yes, don't say, I can't forget. Say, for example, I need to remember. The opposite of the suggestion is the opposite suggests that you will forget. Okay. See, I learned something new.
Okay, so now I have to say something. The universe does not know the word not. No, can't, don't. It's a negative. So this particular sentence is, oh yes, don't say I can't forget. And don't say I need to remember, because need puts you in a needy, it's saying that you don't already have it.
Okay.
So it's okay, or I'm willing to remember. Let's see what else. Every day it's easier for me to remember.
Okay. So you sort of like generalize the affirmation.
Yes, but knows. When you say what's something with a no or a not?
I'm not going to be late in paying bills.
I don't go there, so it's more difficult.
I'm not going to be late in paying this bill. Example.
Okay, so I'm not going to what?
Be late in paying this bill.
So I am so grateful that I have the money to pay this bill.
Okay.
It's okay to pay the bill early. My mind will help me to remember to pay the bill.
Okay.
There's many ways of putting it without the don't or the not.
The wording is as important as you do weigh the words and the value. Yes. I'm copying. I am putting your links again in the chat room so that people don't have to wait to the beginning and go back. And if anybody wants itty bitty publishing, yeah. But you can also find Jade's book on Amazon. So don't be afraid to go to Amazon.
Well, the link that's on my website takes them to Amazon.
Okay, perfect.
So if they go to my website and they click on the link in my website, it will automatically take them over to Amazon.
Okay. Now, oops, my computer decided to, I was set, it's decided to write in capitals. Odd. Everything works out. If people want to connect with you at Facebook, is that okay as well?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I went to Facebook as well. Here we go. Okay, got that in. If anybody has a question in the chat room, please feel free to type it in. Or if you want to come up on mic, put up your hand, please, Brian and Scott. But when you're going to type it in the chat room, type it in capitals so this I can see. I can pay more attention. Okay, let's go next. Complaining and judging.
Yes.
Now, I like you said, everybody complains, and even if they don't realize it, they don't verbalize it, they think it.
Right.
You know?
But if you pay attention to how much you complain, because most people don't pay attention. They might complain that it's too warm, it's too cold. Wow, look at the way that person looked at me. Listen to this commercial, how bad it is, whatever. These are all complaints that we do. Okay? Judging is the same thing. Someone may look and judge the way a person's hair is, or the clothes that they wear. You know, maybe the colors don't match the way they like them.
Okay.
When you do this, when you complain, when you judge, believe it or not, people are going to judge you.
True.
Okay? Not many people really understand karma and how karma works. They think that it always comes back the way it went out. Okay? What karma actually is, and I need to use a metaphor if it's okay with you.
Yes.
If you imagine your God or source or universe, whatever you call, as the sun, okay?
Okay.
And every one of us is a ray of that sun. You cannot take one ray away from the sun, which means you cannot disconnect us from the whole. So really, outside of this reality, we're only one person.
Yeah.
Source only has one child. All of us. And each one of us is like the rays of that sun, which are uniquely shining, even though you can't separate them, they're uniquely shining for the whole. So if let's say I steal from you, what I've actually done is stole from myself. So it has to turn around and come back to me, because that's who I originally stole from, was myself.
You just popped something into my head. Okay, so when you say stealing from you, would be stealing from myself.
Right.
So for people out there who are, and I have a gentleman in mind who's heart aching because what he thought and still believes, the woman of his life, the reason that he gets up and breathes every morning is no longer in his life. She chose to leave. And he's hurting. and I don't know if she knows that he's hurting, but I get to see this. I've spoken to this gentleman a few times. How is that karma? Because broke his heart. Does that mean, in a sense, that karma is going to come back and break her heart?
Not necessarily, but
Okay.
it could. But I don't look at karma in that respect. I look
Okay.
at karma as a bad, negative thing. And for me, in my belief, in my world, in my belief system, before we come into this reality, and I believe that we've been here many times, because I believe in past lives,
Same here.
that we make contracts. These contracts have a start and an end date, and when we decide that we have fulfilled those contracts, whatever they are, then to me, there's multiple ways that we decide to cross over. Because one way may not work. What if one way was supposed to be an accident and something happened and you weren't at that intersection or at that spot? So it could be that an illness happened or this happened or something else happened.
You give yourself, as you write your contract before you come back down, you give yourself many avenues of exits.
Correct.
There's more than one exit. Oh, yeah.
So it could be that part of their contract was for him to let go of hurt and pain within his body. I don't know, because I don't know all of the circumstances, but that could be one thing that it's important for a lesson for him to learn about self-love. Because when you love yourself, others only enhance what you are. And they make it brighter. But the whole love itself needs to be inside of you. He needs to love himself that much.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Thanks, Gemini. Yeah, I'm planning on making him listen to this because I actually agree with you. So,
people don't realize that love starts with you. See, one of the things that I learned a long time ago is that every single one of us came here as takers. And I know that sounds terrible. Takers? What do you mean takers? Okay? But we all are takers. Even when we do something nice for someone, what's our payoff? How we get to feel. That's still taking.
True.
So if we look at first taking and filling us up and then sharing the overflow, and I teach this of how to open the heart to fill yourself up with love, like putting a glass under a spigot of water, and the love from our source, God, universe, whoever, flows in just like the spigot. And then once we're completely filled, if the water still flows, and I believe that his love is always flowing into us, the overflow is what you share, not depleting yourself in the giving of you.
Yeah.
It's always sharing that overflow. So this way you're never depleted, you're never tired, because on an airplane, what do they tell you? Put your mask on first. Because if you put masks on everybody else, they're going to be alive, you're going to be dead.
Yep.
So it's the same principle.
I like that.
I did a lot of soul searching, a lot of healing to be able to come to where I do really love myself. And by loving me, it's so easy to love everybody else exactly the way they are, good or bad, right or wrong. Because then you don't judge people. It's like, okay, that's where they are right now, and that's okay. You can love them for that.
Yeah.
But that
I'm
doesn't
getting
mean you
there.
can't help with little seeds.
Yeah. I'm getting there. I have my moments.
Good.
Okay. Controlling your emotions. Now you said this is one of the most important steps. It's number 6.
Yeah, thank you. Because I need to even brush up, because I wrote this so long ago, I'm not sure what I wrote. Okay, so part of what we do is we sabotage ourselves. Okay? Give you a
Mhm.
good example. The other day, my husband and I very, very, very rarely ever have an argument. And we ended up with a really bad fight. Okay?
Mhm.
I pushed buttons, he pushed buttons. So he went in one room, I went in another, and I'm sitting there and I started to feel sorry for myself. And I'm crying. And all of a sudden, I stopped and asked myself the question, do I want to be right about this? So I stopped and I started to think about what is it that right that moment I wanted. And for me, all the time, I want to be able to give love because
Mhm.
I want to receive it, but I also want to be happy and joyous and joyful so that I can help others with this. So to me, the biggest thing that helps to shift me is going into gratitude.
Okay.
Gratitude for, I don't care if it's the carpet on the floor, the drapes on the wall, the beautiful lamp that I have, the sun shining, or even the rain, whatever the case. And I start going into all of these things of gratitude, and then I put a half smile on my face. So for just a moment, hold that smile. Put that smile on your face, and then hold it there. I want you to hold it for a good minute or two, and then tell me what changes inside your body. Because after a while, you say, wow. And
Yeah.
it's funny, because then you may even start laughing at yourself because you have this funny grin on your face,
Yep.
right? And
Exactly.
it shifts everything.
True.
Then I was able to sit there and send love to the whole house and also to him, and everything just calmed right down.
Okay. Yeah. And it's true.
Joy.
For me, I will if I'm in that moment of mm,
Mm-hmm.
um and I can't give myself the I'm going to work on that, giving myself the smile. So what I do is I'll go to YouTube and type in giggling babies.
Oh.
Just the sound. You cannot not smile. You cannot not get back into my happy place when you
Mm-hmm.
hear giggling babies. And my children did that for me when they were little. Should have thought to record their giggles. But for me, giggling babies is what brings me back to, you know what, darling, life's not so bad. You know,
Mm.
excuse my language, but shit happens, and we'll get past it, and we'll just move forward. You know, and I send the love to the people who I believe inked me. You know, and I send them baby giggles, or in some cases butterfly kisses. I know, because it's not helping me to stay angry. It's not helping me to stay in that spot. Because when you do that, you kind of sit there and you get more. I feel you get more and more dark. You get more and more depressed, and
Correct.
you have to find a way out of it. So my way out of it is giggling babies. But I will work on being in the gratitude of what's around me, what's, like you said, being happy with what I have. You know,
Well,
I
it's a choice.
yeah.
And it's one of those, every 5 seconds we have a choice.
Hmm. Giggling babies.
So I need something just popped into my head, which I think is important to put.
Okay.
So even in the complaining and judging,
Yeah.
which we did talk about a little bit, I like to have people sit down and write out all of the things they like about themselves. Start making a list. Every time you see or you come across something, oh yeah, right, I do like that about me. Start making a list. Because when you start complaining or judging who you are, I want you to pull it out and start reading it. Because it can override.
I think a friend of mine should read your book because he's good at that. He gave me homework one day when we first met. I think the second day we met, he said, I want you to make a list of 10 good things about you. And I was like, okay. And it took me a while. But once I got past 5, I was on a roll. I was like, okay, stop at 10. But gave him the 10 that I gave. And then he says, you have to find the good in you. We became friends at a ick moment in my life. And he says, you always have to find the good in you. I said, normally I do. You just found me on an ick moment. So, but so I like that, right? Make a list, okay? Everybody in the chat room, make a list of at least 10 things that you like.
But not a list that other people say. A list of things that you like about you.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's more believable for you than hearing. It's nice to hear the compliments of everyone else.
Yep.
But when there are things that you like about you, it's like, yes, yes, yes. And it starts making you feel better about who you are because they will override the one or two things that you don't like or that someone said that hurt your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And usually when people hurt your feelings, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them.
Yep. Agreed. 100% on that one.
So what does CYA mean?
See ya.
Oh, okay. I don't know all those little acronyms that people use. So.
It's those young ones in the chat room.
Yes.
God's gonna love me for that one. But yep. Yeah. All right. Controlling your emotions. Have a positive attitude about yourself. And I agree. That's
right.
Okay, so that's true. Okay, the receiving
How do you start your day?
How do I start my day?
You wake up, and what do you do? Other than go to the bathroom and brush your teeth and do that. But what is the very first thing you do when you get up in the morning?
I look outside my window.
Take a gallon of coffee. Okay.
No.
My coffee's made before I get up, so I don't have to worry about it. I have a timer.
I'm the one who makes the timer. But I look out the window. I have a window beside my bed, so I look outside the window. And then I go pee. I put dog out.
Okay.
And make the coffee.
And see, before my feet hit the floor, I sit and declare what an absolute marvelous day this is going to be, filled with miracles. Because a declaration that you do very first thing in your day puts the tone for your day. Then my feet hit the floor, and then I go to the bathroom. But I always declare this phenomenal day, and I thank God that today when I got up, everything in my body worked.
Now, I once posted on Facebook, I woke up this morning and my back hurt and my knees cracked, and it was like a list of 5 things, and I went, see, I'm still alive, yeehaw! Because at least it even aches and pains remind me that I'm still here, that I'm still kicking butt and taking names.
And see, I wouldn't go to even give them energy, because how long did it take for the backache and the knee jerk to go away?
Once I kind of started moving around.
Okay.
It's like I'm like the Tin Man in the Wizard of Oz. I needed to
Okay,
get the
need a
oil.
little oil.
Yeah, exactly. But for me, the oil is movement. So, but yeah, so I like that. But I like that one, the affirmation before my feet even hit the ground. I usually try and do my Reiki principles, but sometimes the dog wants me out of bed before, because
Mm-hmm.
we have a routine. But I think Onyx is gonna have to learn a new routine.
I always declare that it's a marvelous day and it's filled with miracles, and I'm open to receive them all.
Yeah,
Now, what's the very last thing you do before you go to bed?
I thank my team,
Okay.
and that's it.
Try this. I have a crystal, a clear quartz, that I keep on the back of my bed, and just before I go to sleep, I pick it up. I hold it in my right hand because that's our giving side. And I go over my day and I think about all of the wonderful things that went on that day that I was grateful for. Not just thanking,
Mm-hmm.
my team and my angels that were with me, but all of the great things that happened, the beautiful people that I met, the beautiful things that were said, whatever, the facial that I got today, and the wrap that I have. Because then I put my crystal down, I turn off the light, and I crawl in bed. That type of gratitude will make better sleep. Will also
Okay.
make much better dreams.
I gotta start remembering my dreams. I remember very few, but yeah, I like that one. Going clear quartz, right hand, and go over your gratitude of the day, the good things of the day.
And then you just keep it on the back of your bed, and every night you pick up the same quartz. So it's there emanating energy while you sleep. And all of that gratitude is just flooding over you.
It's funny you said clear quartz. I think I'll use that clear quartz one that the lady brought me back.
So there
No.
you go.
See?
Note
Homework.
to self.
Okay. Okay, whoops, other one. Okay,
Also have a positive attitude about yourself. Here's a good example, your story. We
mhm,
all have stories,
mhm.
right? Instead of the boohoo story, take your story and give it a cleaning. I'll give you an example. Telling a little bit more about me when I was a child. I was adopted when I was 2.5.
Okay.
I was a very, very hyper child and probably would have had labels like kids do nowadays,
Mhm.
but back in my day they didn't do that.
Yeah.
So because I got bored easily and because I couldn't hold focus, especially as a kid with all of the energy that I had, I always thought that I was a bad seed, and that's why my mother threw me away.
Okay.
And
You. Hold on. You're out of sync. What's wrong? Okay. And I'm gonna pause the recording. Hang on, folks. Okay. 8:02. The other one was around 7, so okay. Well, hang tight. Okay. She'll be back. So is everybody enjoying the show so far? Any questions? Don't be afraid. Here we go. And she'll be back. This could not. See. Now I'm glad. Okay, so So how's everybody sound about the open forum day of talking about anything but poo? Night, sweetie. Love you. Thanks for coming. Back soon. Okay, Scott, light up your camera. There we go. Somebody talking. It's sitting here talking to myself. It's shh. I'm not great company. So let's lock Brian out. Bellini.
Oh, bless. Poor Brian.
What's wrong with Brian now?
He's not speaking. He must have fallen off his chair or something. He's a poor old soul.
No, I'm playing with my Barbie dolls, so get nicked. As the man said in the book.
Nice guy, nice guy.
How rude.
Yes, and why not? No, you're doing real well, darling. I mean, Jade-Elizabeth, she's really got into things, and I think she's really, she's approached everything from a different way.
Yeah.
And I just can't stop listening to her. That's why I haven't interrupted you and called you anything else. Couldn't I?
Yeah, her book is good. Suggested that. Maybe I'll send it to you. The PDF. But
if you can.
Shh.
I know.
I like the idea that her producers have spoken about going to some of the other people who write the books on find it? Nope, I lost it. On their site, on the itty bitty books, and some of them, well, not my cup of tea, but business and tax book, and heal your body book. That's one that should be interesting, So I can go in and to some of her other their other, and including getting the authors, the publishers themselves as well, hopefully.
Bless you, dear.
Is that Pauline?
Yes, that's Pauline.
Send her my love, please.
Hello.
Hi, Pauline. I didn't know if he had his headphones
Hi,
on.
Pauline.
Hi.
Oh, she's back. Okay, everybody hush.
His boss.
Okay, everybody, that would be just Brian. Because Scott, you weren't talking at all.
Comedy.
Hang on a second. Hey, sweetie. Lost internet again?
I lost it again.
That's
I think
okay.
I'm going to have to call my people because wonder what's this going on.
Yeah, well, I did the same thing. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna restart the recording.
Okay.
Here we go. We're back. Okay, we're back. But yeah, no. Like I said,
my husband, sorry, is hollering from the other room and doesn't realize I'm on.
Tell them to come in, join the party.
So I think the very last thing I was going to tell you was my new story.
Okay.
My new story is that my mother could no longer have children, and my contract was with her and my dad to raise me, so I needed a surrogate. So my surrogate was the mother who brought me into this world.
Okay.
And when my mom and dad went to adopt me, they actually wanted a brand new baby boy and ended up with a 2.5-year-old little girl. So to me, it was absolutely meant to be.
Brian, you have something to say, dear?
Pardon?
No, dear, no. I'm just having a giggle because she's saying so many things that's really happened to me in my life as well. So beautiful stuff. Carry on, please, Jade.
So what story do you tell yourself, Brian?
Me? Oh,
No.
okay. I'm going to unmute him. Brian, you can speak now.
Oh, thank you. It's extremely nice of you. No, in all honesty, I mean, I suffered from my childhood, right up until, well, I should say 12, 14 years ago. And it wasn't until I met Pauline, well, my first wife decided to leave. She went. I met Pauline later on, and we got married, and her perception of life was totally different to anything I'd come across. And she is the most wonderful person I've ever met. And this is exactly as you were saying earlier on, the fact that you make these, it's a contract you sign before you're even conceived. And Darlene knows I've done this, and you sign that contract, and it seemed to go right up until the age of, what would it have been, about 60. And then all of a sudden, my life changed from so quickly overnight. It was from sort of, boom, and it was different. I met Pauline, the whole thing changed, and I thought, well, I must have finished my contract. That's done now. Now I can live my life. And, absolutely brilliant.
But it's absolutely wonderful that you were open enough to receive the information and shift your perception. So not only thanking her, you really need to thank yourself for being open to that.
Oh, yeah. But, as I say, it was very, very difficult because there was some negatives that I had to overcome, bypass and everything. I mean, I'm glad it happened because look what I've got now.
That's
and
absolutely
I'm older than you are.
That is fantastic.
I love it. I love every minute of it.
Okay. Am I still hearing? Everybody still hears me? Yeah, okay, I'm still going. Okay, oops, here we go, pause it. Breaking the chains of old programming.
And that is
number 9.
Number 9. Interesting. You write a book and yet you still have to kind of look at what you...
well, like you said, you wrote it a few years ago.
Well, that's true. So if you think, okay, the biggest thing is being aware of your self-talk, okay? You need to take action. So for an example, if you're aware of the inner talk of, oh, well, I can't do that. Okay? And I'm sure that that's a lot of people's inner talk. I can't do that. So stop. Especially if you catch yourself. I imagine a whiteboard in my head because I'm very visual in my head. So I imagine erasing those words off of my whiteboard in my head, and then I put, yes, I can. So every single time you do this, you take the connection where the negative was, and every time you make a new connection, yes I can, yes I can, yes I can, and erase this one off your board, after a while it disintegrates and you don't hear that anymore. But awareness is number one. And once you become aware, then you have to start taking action and doing something about it. It's not, oh, there I go again. Because that's what most people will do. Oh, yep, there I said it again.
Okay.
Imagine yourself literally deleting it, erasing it, something. Because then you're omitting or getting it gone, and then put something positive back in its place. And start focusing on what you want. You know, I ask people about their goals, or I ask what's going on, and people will tell you so much about what they don't want. And they really don't know what they really do want. So what do you want? Well, I don't know. Let's see. Well, I don't want to have to be like this all my life. It's like, but that isn't what I asked you. But that's how people relate. So that's breaking the chains of old programming. Start being precise about what it is that you want. Sit down, think about it. Write it out. You know, a thought or a goal in your head is not going to manifest as quickly as it will if it's written down. And I don't mean type it, I mean write it. Because there is a connection between the brain and the tips of the fingers that when it travels in that line, it is much stronger and much more powerful than if it's just a thought. Because most people, their goals are in their minds.
No, it's true, because if you look at it when you went back, like for me, when I went back to school, for me to learn something, people just, talking at me, unless I'm taking notes, it doesn't stick. But once I start taking notes or writing, and it works, it's like I can read a book, but if I hear it in my head, I still have to follow it. Like if I hear it in my head, not my head, but if I hear the book, as an audio, I still try and get the paper to follow along with my hands. It's something I've always done. So it makes sense that, what you have in your head, and it's also, it makes it more permanent.
Yes.
So I haven't done that, but I think that's a good one. I think that'll be more homework for Mama.
So the more that you stay in the poor me mode, the more poor me you'll get.
True. I'm almost out of the poor me.
Good.
I'm in the. I have my moments, but in general, yeah.
So the next time you think of a poor me, imagine yourself in that poor me. Blow it up, erase it. It doesn't matter how you do it, because there's no right or wrong, but just find a way. Some people imagine the delete button and they hit the delete. That works too, but then put something positive out there.
Okay.
Say it out loud. Things that are said out loud. When I certify my students, if it's in Reiki, if it's in EFT, if it's in the personal development course, because I have a year-long program that is one class a month for a whole year, which truly helps you to bring up everything and get rid of it out of your body. And by the time you're done, if you do the work and the homework, you will end up loving yourself.
Sure.
And I completely lost what I was going to say. It just
brain fart. I love it. It's okay. I get it.
That's what you call a senior moment.
No, I call it a brain fart.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because we're not allowed to get seniors. Because you hit a certain age and then we just go backwards. Because...
Well, no, I stay at the same. I was 29 for years because I figured if Jack Benny stopped at 39, I'm a woman, I could stop at 29.
There we go.
Now that I'm up there a little bit, I can't really pass for 29 anymore, so now I've gone to 39.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
So that's where I stay.
Hush, Brian. I used to be. I mean, I remember growing up, and my mother always said, "Don't ask a woman her age. Don't ask me my age." And that was her upbringing. You don't ask a woman her age.
Right.
And even when it's funny because when I used to do their taxes, my parents' taxes, I did them for years. I still don't know my mother's age because I wouldn't calculate it. They'd just say date of birth and I'd write it down because I have to actually sit there and calculate it. But now people sit there and go, you know, like I used to think, oh my God, I'm not going to tell anybody I'm old. And then, because when I was young, 50 was old. My God, I'm ancient. And I sit there and I go, I'm 56 and I'm proud of who I am because my age of 56 is just the exterior of me. My heart is one age and my soul is another age, and sometimes my mind's a whole lot of other age. You know?
Yeah,
so there's
true.
not one thing. Of course, I'm not a boy, and then it acts like a 12-year-old. Oh, sorry, I had to say that out loud. But I am never we are never one age. You know, the age that you are physically, that you were born, that you came into this world, is the age of your body. And, oh God, yes, I'm going to be 56, but there are mornings when I get up and I feel like I'm 142. It's like the crack. But like 5 minutes into the wake up and the oils from the squeaky wheels, and I'm okay again because I focus on other things. I don't focus on the pain. I don't focus on the discomfort and the ick mode. You know, again, for me, it's.
But see, here's what's important though.
Mm-hmm.
You need to find out what your body is trying to tell you by those aches and pains.
I know.
And
Trust
then
me, I know.
you can let them go. So if
I know.
you really
I'm letting go of one
pain,
of them on Tuesday.
okay, but when you do get a pain, dive into it. Ask it. So, what are you trying to tell me? Most of the time, a pain, because there's an emotion involved with the pain, it wants to have a voice and it wants to be recognized. Usually, if you recognize it, it'll go away.
I like that. Recognize the pain.
Not so with my sciatic nerve, because I was lifting the rear axle out of a station wagon 6 months ago, and it pulled a lot. And no matter how much I talk to it, it still comes back. So
ask it, why does it come back? What is it now that you're continuously doing that's aggravating it? It wants a voice.
I move, and that's the only thing that brings it back. No, it's well, I told anybody, in all honesty. I mean, being the oldest one here, it's I've abused my body over the years, you know, lifting heavy weights, God knows what else. I think this was just a combination. So I'll allow it to be, because then I can rest.
That's true. But the more you do the poor me, the more poor me you'll get.
Well, I have to say that one thing about Brian is that since I first met him, he has, aside from learned to use his voice quite a bit, he has changed a lot. He used to be when I first asked him to co-host on my other show. He just wanted to sit in the back. He said, "I'm going to be the quiet one." I said, "No, you're not. I'll make you come forward because he can do it. I know he can do it. I know, you've got the ability. You got the gift of gab." Hello, he keeps coming into the thing, but, and he's got a lot of interesting things. So that's what I sort of pulled him kicking and screaming, but quite happily sitting there now. So, but he has changed a lot.
At my age, I'm allowed to. At my age, I can discern what I'm going to do.
Not when I'm around.
At any age, you're allowed to.
But now I realise it, and that's the difference.
Okay.
It took a long time. I was always taught as a kid, children should be seen and not heard. That was the ultimate, all the time.
Yes.
Any answer at all. Yep.
Me
but
too.
I broke away from that, and this is what I've ended up with.
Yeah, always hearing you. That's good.
Mama D giving me a mouthful. Or an earful. No, appreciate Mama D, believe me.
I appreciate you too, honey. I appreciate Pauline more because she's the one who puts up with you.
Pauline doesn't get a choice, and that's, well, she does get a choice, but
Yes.
yeah,
it's a doghouse.
she's magic girl all around.
Okay, number 14. The power to trust yourself.
Okay. So when you start to trust your decisions and choices,
Mm-hmm.
you are on the right road to happiness. This is coming right from the book. Trusting is a good thing. Trusting yourself is a powerful tool for healing. So start noticing how many times you do something that's right, even if it's a repeat of something.
Okay.
Is it 3 times? Is it 4 times? Is it 5 times that you have to do it before you start trusting that the next time you do it, it'll be okay? Because people have that trust. It's like, for me, my challenge, and every day it gets better and better, but one of my mental challenges that I'm having issues getting around is technology. I wasn't raised with the technology. And I've had, when people tell me something, I've always proven them wrong because what did I just say? What's my belief? I have issues with technology. And even my own students now are saying, so you want to be right about that? And no, I don't. But I love it because they're reminding me of my own words. Okay?
Exactly.
So when I do something, I actually will make a note after I get to a point, I really can do this, so why am I telling myself I can't?
See, you came on my show and you used the camera.
I did. Even in the verbal thing. So, 3 times I had to log in.
There you go. See, it's making sure you're getting it right.
That's right. Making sure I had it correct.
So when I have somebody else on who you can say, oh, it's so easy. Look, I just did times in the same show.
Right.
But yeah, I agree. I have that thing where I do something, and in the moment, I know I'm spot on. I know it's not perfect, but I'm spot on. I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I know I'm doing it right. But for me, it's after. When I do a Reiki treatment, my clients can't they can't stop going, oh my God, it's over. It's like, thank you. But it's not really me. I'm just the conduit. I'm just the telephone. I don't have the conversation. There's I do what I do, and I know I'm good at it. But it's afterwards.
So then why not just say thank you?
I do, but when they keep going on, then I'm just like, But yeah, I guess just the thank you.
You're slugging that compliment, because think about it, okay? If the Reiki didn't need you to give to someone and have them come for sessions and do what you do, it wouldn't happen for them. So even though you are the conduit for the energy, you are still using your own intuitive abilities to make it better.
True.
So now, the next time someone says that, instead of saying, I'm just the conduit, it's not me, stop, take a breath, and say, thank you very much.
Sure. Okay.
Did this together. Because they have to be receptive as well.
Yes, that's true.
So we did it together. And that means them, you, and source.
Yep.
That'll start you taking
accepting.
Well, and receiving compliments.
Yeah, receiving. Yeah. Like I said, I have that. But I have a question for you. It has nothing to do with it was something that somebody once said to me. when you got your Reiki attunement, and as you said, it's a mistake. That wasn't what you thought it was supposed to be. You thought it was just treatment, I guess.
No,
Have
I
you?
knew it was an attunement. I just
Okay.
didn't think that it was going to be because of the way it was explained. It wasn't
Okay.
explained that I was going to shift so much.
You can't. I don't think anybody can ever explain what we're going to feel. So yeah,
Nope.
I understand. I had somebody say that I didn't want. I don't want to. I don't want to be attuned, because what happens if I don't like it? You can't unattune me. And I was
Correct.
like, nobody. But I don't think I've ever met anybody I've met people who are happy. Like, for the longest of time, I was happy at level 2. I enjoyed because I use a bunch of other different modalities at the same time. So I was quite content to be at level 2, but I don't think I ever wanted to be unattuned.
So
people can be happy where they are.
If they want to be unattuned, tell the Reiki not to flow. Period. Because you can't unattune someone, but
no.
they don't have to experience the energy running through them.
Mm-hmm.
Reiki, please don't flow. Okay? See, to me, my Reiki flows all the time. The minute I leave my house, the Reiki starts to flow. This way, if someone needs energy, instead of depleting me and my energy, they just get the Reiki energy.
Yep.
And it's better for both of us, them and me. So.
Yeah, because I can remember the first time I ever did my very first Reiki treatment on, and my master was like, go for it. And I was like, okay, fine. And when the person left, I was like, I sat on my Reiki table, sat in the middle of it, and I was like, I felt like I was beaming. The energy that was flowing, and I was like, I'm never going to feel this good again. First time is always the best. Like, the first two was rock on. And first treatment. So for me, the firsts are always memorable, something that, that you remember. But it's like, but I still feel the energy when I give somebody, and I wait to get all giggly and giddy until they've gone, so I don't think I'm a total Goonie bird. But I love the energy that you get. And somebody said, well, you're using your own energy. And no, I'm not. Because even when it travels through me, through hands, and, excuse me, I still feel it.
Well, sure, because every time you give a session, you get a session, because the Reiki energy flows through you. But Reiki has its own wisdom. We don't need to tell it where to go. We don't have to push it in. We don't need to do any of that. It has its own wisdom, which knows exactly where to go. The reason for the hand positions for people is because the energy is strongest nearest the hands.
Yeah.
I'm teaching a class. That's what it felt like.
But it's true. It's not teaching a class. You're sharing the wisdom, which is cool.
True.
But I think it's, like I said, for me, I think giving a treatment is so energizing. And even when, and even when it's like, my husband will need it, and he'd be like, no, I'm fine. So I'll come in my office, and I know he's open because he's open, and I'll say,
I do that to my husband a lot. He won't get up on my table, but he loves the Reiki, so I just sit in my what I call my change chair in the house, and I will just do a session on him.
Yeah. And when I was doing my Reiki for the very first time, and you needed to have, as I called, I had to have a little. He says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I need a little guinea pig. Come here, dear." And he didn't like it because it would put him asleep. He would relax so much, and he was like, "I'm like, okay, dear, go to sleep."
See,
and then when I was
wouldn't get up on the table.
No, he wouldn't be on the table. He would have to be he only got him on the table once. He was like, I don't like this thing. I said, I don't like being up here. So I said, go sit in your chair. All I got to do is just, be there. I don't have to, give you, you don't have to be on the table. It's not, a be all and end all the table. It's cool and comfortable for those who do. I said, there are people who'd rather sit in the chair, then that's fine too. But he got comfortable in that chair and he'd be trying to keep his eyes open. I said, you can't. No, I'm fine. I'm just fine. I'm just. And his eyes slowly closed. And then I'd hear him snoring, and I'm going, we're going to get rid of that snore, aren't we, dear? He doesn't snore so much anymore. Yes, Terry's a doll.
Good on him.
And he doesn't snore as much now. The Reiki's helped him there. So, but yeah, I love doing. So yeah, that was, like I said, it was a question. I actually had somebody say, well, what if I want to be unattuned?
You can't. It's a hardwire. Once you're connected, you're connected.
It's the same as ordinary healing, isn't it, really? I mean, my family were all healers.
Uh-oh.
Looks
like
Mama D's.
Oh, there she goes. She moved. Okay.
I moved. Okay. Well, you know what? It is 8:33, and we've talked for 2 hours, and it doesn't even seem like 2 hours, and I love it. Thank you very much, Jade, for agreeing to come on my show and connecting me with your publishers. I was going to say producers. I don't know where that word came from.
They're a publisher. Yes, they're my publishers.
Yeah, and the knowledge and the book, and I'm going to definitely buy the book so I can actually carry it around. And like I said, I like to read books with words. The internet. I did my some courses online, which were great. I learned everything I needed to learn, but I printed out the manuals because I needed to have it in hand.
I do too.
So get the hands and the brain connected. So thank you very much for being here.
And thank you so much for having me on as your guest. I really appreciate it very much.
Before we go, is there anything that you want to get people to know a bit about? Like, you have any sessions coming up, some courses or something?
After the first of the year, if they would like, they can be on my mailing list by just going to my website and signing up.
Okay.
To receive my emails. I am not one that inundates you every week. You might get one because I hate that myself, so I don't do it to others. But this way, when I start doing things online, if someone is interested, they can sign up and learn a little more.
There we go. Okay. So everybody, in the first of the year, go sign up at Jade's website for her post emails.
And if I might say, I do Skype and Zoom sessions online for those that would like. So I'm open to private sessions.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody who was in the chat room and had to leave. And thank you for everybody who stuck around. Felini, bonsoir. Scott, Brian, Pauline, who is there close by. Good night, and I will see you all very, very soon.